Welcome back. Love Boat Project, episode number 37. With me, as always, my co host, Mike Robertson. Ahoy, Mike.
Hi, Mike. Did you ever think when we started doing this 37 episodes ago
Mm,
that you would have the ability, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, that you would have the ability to have this Love Boat show that, as far as I knew, was a song and like a lighthearted romp, that it could ever make you just mad? Because the existence of this episode, for many reasons, just kind of made me mad.
yeah, I don't disagree. There was more than one reason to be mad. It wasn't just story. It was,
Mm.
and,
As a
and we'll get
viewer,
into it. Yeah, I was bugged by it.
Yeah, as a viewer of this, as the only episode you ever saw, what kind of made me mad. As someone who maybe was into the whole show, it would make me mad. As someone who's doing this, what we're doing, made me furious.
Yeah, yeah,
So
there were some things that, yeah, I have some notes. I have some things to share as we see some of these insults personally, like,
yes, yeah.
so
And the thing that bothers me the most is
mm,
we got validation about being correct on things we've been talking about for a while, and
yeah.
that didn't make me feel any better.
No, I felt worse with those. It's almost like just don't like. I'm pretty sure there's not a Santa Claus, but until you say there's not a Santa Claus, it's not that
Right,
big of a deal.
right.
Yeah,
That's what this
same thing.
was today.
This was this was the episode that almost ruined Christmas.
Which works because it's in December.
It is.
So
Original air date December 9th, 1978. Of course, we're here to talk about the Love Boat Season 2, Episode 12, titled El Kid, The Last $100, and a Isosceles Triangle.
So I usually know the titles before I even
Hmm.
do my first watch.
Yeah.
They obviously flash them during the credits. I didn't even know the third title until I was doing my notes today.
The triangle title?
Isosceles Triangle. And like I get it, but I was just like, what is that title? It's just
Yeah, I don't like when you like the competition, the
anything.
something that,
Just
they because you have the last $100, and I think that's not because the bet was for $100. See,
but
it's
that
almost like, oh, we can't
right,
use that.
right. But yeah, it was just I feel like there's no correlation to the
No.
titles. Like sometimes the titles are bad and the storylines are good and vice versa. But like Isosceles Triangle just feels like the first idea they had and they just were like, eh. So
Yeah, it mm,
yeah.
mm.
We'll come up with a better title as we do this tonight for
Of course, of
that
course.
plot.
So what was on again December 9th, 1978? Mike, we're in for a treat here. I will tell you this, there are no episodes of a television series up against Love Boat this week. We have
Which I do
two.
think we're kind of trending
Yeah,
towards because of the mysterious disappearance of the American girls.
there's
So
still somewhere that plane crash episode they never recovered.
it doesn't seem like it.
Imagine if they came back next week. Yeah, the American older girls. It's just one of
Oh
them.
no, other American girls.
Other, and then there is a TV movie on CBS at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
TV movie is called A Real American Hero. Immediately, I think of GI Joe, but
A
no,
real American hero.
A Real American Hero.
Okay. Not the
Here is
greatest American hero.
no.
Okay. Okay.
I think that was an ABC thing, if I'm not mistaken. But
You might be right.
uh,
Oh, trust me, I'm excited about getting William Cat
oh,
on the
bring it,
boat.
bring it! I have a lot to say about that.
Uh, Excellent.
How do you lose the instruction book on how to fly? Come on, you're better than that, Richard Cat.
Believe it or
Um,
not, it's just me.
Drama. This is the synopsis of A Real American Hero. Drama concerning the life of Buford Pusser and chronicling his efforts to drive out of business a local moonshiner whose illegal liquor caused a number of teenagers to go blind. End quote.
Hang on.
Yes. Questions. Question.
Okay,
Anything? I'm taking questions about
okay.
Buford
So
Pusser. Yeah.
Buford Pusser
Yes, sir.
is pro no, he's
He's
anti-prohibition.
anti-blindness,
Wait. So
essentially.
this is during prohibition or not necessarily?
You're get. You know what? Yes. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just gonna go.
So
Sure.
he's trying to save these kids from going blind because they're drinking hooch that's making them go blind.
Yeah, he's trying to. So the movie is chronicling Buford Pusser's efforts to drive a local moonshiner out of business.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with prohibition. He's not even necessarily anti-alcohol. He just doesn't like this
He doesn't like
blinding
teenagers losing
moonshine.
their sight. Yeah,
Okay. All
make
right, Buford.
make cleaner moonshine. Maybe that's his thing. Like,
Okay.
how about a little less rust in that bucket, guys? Come on.
Do you think it's making them go blind because they're like they're doing those vodka shots in their eyeballs?
That's what it is. Starring. Who do you think played Buford Pusser? Who'd be
All
good?
right, let's
I got
see.
somebody in mind.
All right, so it's moonshine. It's the 30s or 40s. God, I want to say Brimley. I want to say Brimley.
Uh, Brian Dennehy.
Okay.
I could see it. I could see
Okay.
it. I could see
Although
it.
he's a little too like he's almost like too gravitas-y.
But he's younger though. You
Yeah,
know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know.
So
Buford,
maybe.
I mean, you gotta look a certain way to be named Buford Pusser. Like, I couldn't play Buford Pusser.
No,
Like,
I
so
couldn't play Buford Pusser. No, it takes a special man to play Buford Pusser, and that special man apparently was Brian Dennehy.
you think he's related to former Sixer Rodney Buford? They
That'd
used
be
to call him
awesome.
the sheriff.
What a story. On NBC at 9 p.m. TV special. I used to love these.
Christmas?
Not this one, but TV specials in general. The Christmas, yes. This is the Dean Martin Christmas in California.
Oh, baby.
Ooh, taped at the Garrison Angelusen, excuse me, horse ranch in Thousand Oaks, California,
Sure.
featuring Connie Stevens, huh,
Wait,
Mel Tillis, hmm,
Connie Stevens, the star of the show we watched tonight?
yeah,
Wow.
Mel Tillis.
Oh, man, Mel Tillis ends up on all these
He's
shows.
everywhere, and the always funny Jonathan Winters.
Wow, that's a good group.
That is a
Although I
good
will
group.
say that's not a, usually Dino has at least one, like, elegant, cool guy. It's kind
Yeah,
of a
something. Yeah,
that's a
like
mixed bag over there.
right. It's weird. Yeah, that is kind of a. All right,
Yeah,
Mike.
but I
So
would
it's
say if you're telling me, "Oh, it's something with
mm,
Dean Martin from the '70s," yeah, I would have rather watched that.
yeah,
So, I'm not
absolutely,
sure about
absolutely.
Buford. Actually, I'd probably watch Buford too. You know who wouldn't like Dean Martin specials is probably Buford Pusser.
Not at all.
You know
Not
Dino's
at
into
all.
that moonshine. "Yeah, I'm fine. I can see better than I did before."
No, it just reminds him of all the teenagers that'll never be able to watch that Dean Martin special because of the rusty moonshine. Like single tear, like that Native American in the Coke commercial. Same thing. But
Oh,
it's Buford Pusser.
poor
Sorry for the
Buford.
hard P. IMDb synopsis. Here we go, Mike. Number one. Larry and Sybil Hartman plan to adopt an orphan in a port of call.
Okay. That's technically true. Although making is saying you plan to adopt them in a port of call makes it sound like you're getting them at the dock or
Yeah,
something.
like you haven't thought this through. You're like, no, 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 we'll just go pick
Oh,
one
really?
up at the in
Let me get
Cabo.
that and one of those pinatas, please.
What are those stick donuts? What are they? Churros? Give me some churros.
Give me a rancheroo.
They're just terrible. Y'all got Takis here? Love Takis. Uh Adam and Meryl fall for Julie's friend Karen Maynard.
Ugh, I just
Right there with you.
and first of all, like, even the synopsis bugs me because they called him Adam and Merrill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Come on. Come on, synopsis. Get off your
Stupid.
high horse.
And finally, Wes and Renee Larson and their friend April Dunleavy plan a business deal with fraudulent executive Van Milner.
What?
I still don't understand what Van Milner did wrong. I
Nothing.
know we're gonna get to
Van
I'm
Van
stunned.
Milner did nothing
He
wrong,
did nothing
and
wrong.
Wes Larson can go to hell as far as I'm
Wes
concerned.
Larson is a son of a bitch for
Yeah.
what he
Good
did
thing
or he
you run a
tried to
box
do.
company, babe, because I'm gonna put you in one if you ever talk bad about Dabney Coleman again.
Because it's like, what oh, yeah, don't you say a bad word about Dabney Coleman, who was
Dabney Coleman
excellent.
Dabney Coleman probably had to have some sort of chiropractic after finishing this thing because he carried this
Everybody.
garbage episode on his
He
back.
he carried all of season 2 right now is on
I
his
think
back.
you're kind of right.
Like,
Like,
he was so good. It was it wasn't that Bob Crane thing where it was just effortless. It became that thing where he really bought that he was the character. Like, he just is that good. God,
he
I love Dabney Coleman.
and the thing is, we've talked about this a lot.
Mm,
There's this was another I think you'll agree, but this was basically another one of those one decent storyline, other two storylines are absolute trash, and we have
yeah,
had a lot of these this year. But like the other performances that were like that were more broad. Billy Crystal had the old ladies,
right.
and the cruise ship Casanova had all the older women, and they were good. Like everybody else had. Now,
Sure.
Rue McClanahan was fine, but he
Mm.
was he was like Rue McClanahan was like hitting singles, and Dabney
Y
Coleman's hitting
yeah.
like 3-run jacks.
Yeah, he and just yeah, he was clearly, everyone else was in the kiddie pool as far as acting goes. Dabney Coleman was definitely in the deep end of the pool, much just made it look
I would have been disappointed. I would have been sad if they. I assume this is his only appearance.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
have been sad if they had Norman Feld it or something like that.
If he was just
So
reading,
I
basically.
was so excited. We'll get to it, but when he
Yeah,
comes on, and
yeah.
he's Dabney Coleman the whole time, but he's like good guy Dabney Coleman,
Yeah,
which is
he's
all
not 9 to 5.
right. Yeah. So
He's more like War Games after he realizes what happened.
right. Second half War
Yeah,
Games, getting shot, Jack Flack,
that's right.
another cloak and dagger.
Uh, well, let's get into guest stars right off the bat. Dabney Coleman, alphabetical order.
Just fantastic. Just
Uh,
always a huge fan. It was fun to see him in something a little different.
Same here.
And this is obviously before he does any of the stuff that we know him for.
Yeah,
But I know what you're saying in terms of effortless. It's not the Bob Crane thing. That's because
right.
Dabney Coleman's not going to be a suave guy. But like
No,
just
he's just
the the broken speech, like it was very messy. The
yeah.
scenes with him and Rue McClanahan, like they were kind of talking over each other or cutting each other off. It was great.
It
It was
felt real,
so
like a
good.
real
Yes,
he's
like a real
good.
conversation. Yes.
Other notes on him: appeared in over 175 films and TV shows. Busy
Wow.
man. I didn't realize he was in On Golden Pond as well.
Wow, there's like nobody in Golden Pond either. It's a really small cast. I
Yeah,
actually
I remember my parents took me to the drive-in movie theater to watch
I
that.
wonder if that's how he ended up in 9 to 5.
I don't know. I don't know.
Or
I
was
have the
it
9
9
to
to 5
5 Golden Pond War Games and the overlooked Cloak and Dagger, which I thought was an awesome movie growing up.
I mean, we talked about that last week. Yeah, absolutely.
Great movie. Next on the guest stars, a Miss Dina Dietrich played Renee Larson. Not much on her, Mike, except something very cool.
Okay.
She was best known for her portrayal of Mother Nature in a series of chiffon margarine commercials from 1971 to 1979. Nay, I say, Dina Dietrich, the chiffon margarine girl. Maybe.
The
I mean,
hell is
8 years.
chiffon margarine?
I don't know, but I
Never heard
bet
of
you it's
that.
just.
She looked so familiar.
She
And
did
at
look
first I was
familiar.
like, "Oh, I'm thinking of, Nancy Marchand. I'm thinking of, Naked Gun, Sopranos,
Yeah.
and, like, she's the knockoff." But then I was like,
She's.
"Let me look her up." And I just never really found the thing that I thought I knew her from. So, sorry,
It,
chiffon margarine.
it
So,
is. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's a. Oh, I bet you they didn't figure out margarine in the 70s,
well,
early
listen,
70s.
did you we never heard of it. I think I knew all the butters at some point as a
Yeah.
kid. So, like, they probably
It
had to
just.
discontinue it.
Oh.
You don't want your butter getting discontinued. You don't want your margarine getting discontinued right
No.
on the time of 3 Mile Island exploding. So
Well, is margarine just like a fun way to not say to say like, "Hey, it's not butter,
yeah,
but it's butter." You know,
but
margarine's sort of a
yeah,
like almond milk.
but
It's
then
not
they
really
figured out
milk.
the fun way to say it's not butter is I can't believe it's not butter. They actually did
See?
figure it out.
And
So
they just had the
not
hands.
Chevron or whatever that butter was.
Chiffon. That remember they was trying to butter a muffin and they had the hands that would pop up and they would smack each other's hand for trying to get into the I can't believe it's
Right,
spread,
but not Chevron
but not no,
or
not chiffon.
chiffon or
Yeah,
whatever. Sorry.
chiffon. Chiffon.
Sorry, Marlena Dietrich or whoever this lady is.
Dave Madden playing that son of a bitch Wes Larson. First note, Canadian.
Really? I guess that makes sense.
Canadian. Reuben Kincaid.
Reuben Kincaid. Yeah, I mean that's how he's because for the first half of this episode, I couldn't remember what his name was, so I just kept calling him Reuben Kincaid. So
He also had a recurring role as diner customer Earl Hicks on one of our favorites, Alice. I don't remember that at all.
oh, okay.
I think if I saw him, I might, but
Vaguely, but yeah. I mean, it wasn't like Mel's Diner had a lot of recurring characters. So
no, no. But yeah, screw you, Wes Larson.
yeah,
Just a snake.
snitches get
Snake.
stitches. Wes Larson.
We have our friend Rue McClanahan coming up next playing April Dunleavy. I have some notes on her. Mike, we're going to see her 5 more times on the Love Boat. This
Wow.
is just her first of many.
So who's
Uh,
the next Golden Girl? Betty White? You think?
or the
B Arthur? I think B Arthur might be too big. I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't know if
know,
Maud's getting on that boat.
but I feel like Betty White might be a little too big
Yeah,
too.
but Betty White just get I mean, her husband's already been on.
Yeah,
She was
that's true.
married to businessman number 1.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So,
Interesting. I using that logic, I'd go Betty White.
yeah. I think last place if B. Arthur ever gets on, Estelle Getty will be last because I don't know that she will be able to make it before the Love
When
Boat
did
goes
that
off the air.
when does that well no, that movie came out around then, right? Like don't Stop or My Mama Will Shoot.
Well,
Didn't
that
that
would
come
have
out
been
in
that would
70?
that was 70, yeah.
Wasn't that 79, 70?
Oh, right. That was Stallone's follow-up to
That's
Rocky.
it. That's it. Uh Interesting thing about Rue McClanahan, big time sitcom roles. She was on Maude from 72 to 78,
Yep,
Mama's Family
yep.
from 83 to 84, Golden Girls, that mega hit, 85 to 92. What's that? What does that say? Don't forget about a little show called The Golden Palace. What's that? What's that show about? I'm glad you asked, Mike. The Golden Palace begins where the Golden Girls had ended, with
Nice.
Dorothy having married and left the 3 remaining housemates, and they invested in the Golden Palace. It was a hotel in Miami that was for sale. However, it is revealed after they bought it that the whole place had been stripped of all of its personnel to appear more profitable.
Wow.
There was only 2 employees in the hotel, and this is where it gets interesting. First is Roland Wilson, the hotel's manager, played by Don Cheadle, and Chewy Castillos, the hotel chef. It's the late 70s, so it's got to be Cheech Marin.
Yeah,
Uh,
Freddie Prince has died. It's
right,
Steve
it's got to
Martin
be. It's before Paul Rodriguez,
or
like
or it's Pepito.
Pepito, or like, ugh. And maybe Roland Wilson could have been played by Sinbad if this was like 5 years later. He was
Oh,
big. He was
man.
hitting that. And the show lasted 24 episodes. So,
Wow. That sounds terrible. You know who
uh,
I think you know
mm,
who I think played, the man who took Dorothy away from the Golden Girls?
mm.
I believe it was multiple, Love Boat appearer, 0 time stubby nominee, Leslie Nielsen.
You know what? I think you're right
I
because
think
Missy
that's who
went
it
on
is.
a Golden Girls kick.
Yeah,
and watch the whole thing. I think you're right.
I think it's and if it's not him, you know who else it is? It's Harold Gould, the guy from The Caper. It's one of our past friends, so
Interesting. Yeah, but were any of them tall enough? Like, you'd need, Fred Gwynn, you know? Lily, to take her away. She was
is Fred Gwynn gonna be on this boat?
oh, or give me
He
Grant, give me
should be,
Al
right?
Lewis.
Oh, my
Eddie
dad took a flight to Chicago with Al Lewis one time, and
really.
he said it's just weird because Al Lewis is Al Lewis is Al Lewis, like,
He's
it just
just
doesn't
it's
matter.
gimmick. It's
Yeah.
funny. Uh, Gabrielle Melgar played Pepito. I don't even he was on 23 episodes of Chico and the Man. Heather Menzies, Urich Menzies played Sybil Hartman, married Robert Urich in 1975.
You know what's good to fix your Menzies is
Mm,
chiffon margarine.
chiffon margarine. It's not just butter. Uh, they say you can find it in in your pharmacy aisle. Chiffon margarine. Does not need to be refrigerated. Tons of TV appearances. We'll see her again next season. Victor Milan, real name Joseph Brown, played Father Ramos.
Oh, the hell with
Again,
that guy too,
yeah,
by
screw
the
him.
way.
He was just,
Oh my god.
I don't know what's really going on. He didn't seem very father like the way
Yeah.
that whole thing was weird.
Little bait and switchy there, pops.
Yeah, no, not a crib to be found. No
Yeah.
baby. Doesn't even
Yeah.
smell like babies.
I saw Annie. This is not a real orphanage. Get out of here. So
It brings me back to that puppy, that dog that had puppies with no sign of puppies. It was that same thing.
yep,
Yeah, if you go back to episode, uh,
9.
Connie Stevens played Karen Maynard. I found her incredibly annoying. Her voice,
I
just
just
the
think
giggles,
well, I mean, that whole storyline didn't have
so
anything, and they never
stupid.
gave you any reason to care at
No, because
all.
and at the end there was still no reason. It was
No.
like, oh, that was just a big
Yeah,
spoiler alert. It was a big nothing.
this ending was we always joke about how they ran out of time or they just stopped writing things or whatever, but this really felt like it just was like, "We got, what, 10 more minutes to fill?"
I
Like,
think
it's
they threw their pencils away at 36 minutes into the episode. Everyone got up and threw their writing utensils down.
pencils down.
Long shots and horn things, and we'll get to that.
Double stooping action shot.
Oh my god. The hat's on for now. The hat is on for now. Uh, Robert Urich, again played Larry Hartman. We've talked about him many times. Again, this is the last time we will see him on the Love Boat, but
Really?
maybe we'll see him again in 1998.
Well, we're not doing that.
I'm
We're not
just
doing
saying.
that. That's really it for him? He does
That's it.
3 episodes in the first year and a half and then never comes back?
That's it.
I know you love him. I know you love him.
Not in
He
this
has not
episode.
been great in any of these Love Boat episodes.
Well, because I want Spencer for hire.
Yeah.
I don't want stupid Larry Hartman. You
Larry
know,
Hartman.
he's real brave about trying to smack kids around.
Larry Hartman ready to throw down with some children, but too dumb to not get outsmarted by children constantly.
Go ahead.
You good? You good?
Portal report.
So we talked about at the beginning of the year. We were very excited
Mhm.
that we were getting the portal report after a whole season of just typeface. We got the portal report. In the first couple weeks, we were kind of bummed out because it was like just clearly clips from the episode itself. They weren't getting any of those classic poses that we thought. Then we
Right.
got away from that. And so what the hell do we get today? Bunch of the old just clips of episodes. Like they're just pulling stuff out. And
I
that was the first time I
yeah.
realized that we were in for a bit of a flashback here.
Yeah. Yeah, this was the first and the third one really. Well, we'll get there, but yeah, I was a little all right.
Things I
Well, let's
thought we were done with.
Same.
returning.
100%.
Yep.
All right. If there's no other business, are we ready? You want to get on the boat?
Yeah, let's get on so we
Let's
can
get
jump off.
Yeah, I mean, quickly get off the boat. We begin outside of the boat, actually.
Yeah.
Van Milder, which I love when they start here. I
Yeah,
love it. Like,
it's
add
funny.
something.
So I'm conflicted because this is exactly what I just said. This is definitely something of the early 20s episodes that we were getting a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a character who is only there to introduce the other character. They
Hmm.
never come back. They're
Nope.
basically just giving him a ride, and that's all this guy was.
Um, Van Milner's exiting a taxi and he's walking with his brother Peter. Peter says, "You could live for a couple of months on what you spent on this cruise." Mike, as we've seen in the past, what did the cruise cost? Was it $37 and
Well, the
something
boat,
cents?
see, this week the boat is expensive. I mean,
What do they
Tony
open up
Tony
different rooms? They put 2 rooms together and they charge
well,
twice, or
don't forget because that jackass, what the hell is his name? Larson. Wes Larson, he made a
son of
big
a
deal
bitch.
that, you're living in the high rollers room. So I think Dabney went all out, but still, maybe
What
his family would save more money if his brother didn't ride in the cab with him and then not get on the boat. He
That's
just
weird
took the
too.
ride with him.
I
Like,
walked with you to carry the one suitcase. Like, okay.
sure, you got
Um,
nothing better to do.
See you later, Peter. Uh, Peter Milner. We'll never see you again, sir.
We'll never see you again.
He's out. Van says, "If I'm broke, I'm going out with a bang. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's
So
go."
so right here, you kind of thought it was going to be like a Brewster's Millions
Yeah.
situation where he was just going to end up in the bottom of a bottle
Just
or something
screw
like
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But once
Uh,
again, people going out with a bang on the Love Boat. So,
well, also, there wasn't a lot of scenes where he didn't have a drink in his hand.
yeah.
So he was fully engaged with his plan. Just Rue
And
McClanahan's she won't shut up about work, 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 work.
and like we'll get to the reasons why
Yeah.
he needed the money, but like ultimately there was a long stretch there where he wasn't working and he still had enough money to pay for this very expensive cruise. So
Yeah.
old Van Milner was making hand over fist back in the
Yeah.
old days.
Yeah. He's got something. He's doing something nobody knows about. Has to be. Just for that jacket alone. Good Lord. Uh, we see Julie greeting passengers. Hold on. Julie's hair. That is season 1 hair.
That is season 1 hair. It's
Just
probably like I said, I think this was filmed right around that bad stretch of episodes we ran into, like
like 21
21,
and
23. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, this
Uh,
is
I
and
guess
again
sweeps are over, huh?
here's the thing. In theory, right, if we come back next week and Julie looks with the same haircut, what's like, "Oh, she got a haircut." But we all know that's not what's gonna
We know
happen.
that's not what's going to
Yeah.
happen. Yeah. Enter Sybil and Larry Hartman. They're adopting a baby in Puerto Vallarta.
Baby
Good for
capital of the
them.
world.
Tons of babies. You don't even have to tell them. You just show up. They hand you a baby. Enter April Dunleavy with Renee and that son of a bitch, Wes Larson. Uh, Wes recognizes Van, introduces him to April, and Van is ready to move on to some drinking. What are
Yeah.
we doing? What is this,
Yeah,
a bank?
they don't call him Van because he's walking. He
No,
is
he's
driving right through.
driving right to the bar.
Yeah, that's the A-team van right there.
Oof. Sweet ride, by the way. April and Van leave while Renee and that son of a bitch Wes get checked in. Uh,
Blanche, Blanche
mm,
Dubois or April Dunleavy, she really does not like, her COO or CEO or whatever. Poor Jerry Hamlin, he really
poor
gets the
Jerry
business
Hamlin. Like
immediately.
under the bus. Just
I mean,
immediately, I
like, they
guarantee you, Jerry's not worse than Wes.
yeah, I mean, do you know how much money Wes made last year?
Ugh, we all do. That son of a bitch. Wes says to his wife, maybe April found someone to take her mind off of business.
Meanwhile, yeah, let's do a quick recap here because they
Yeah.
made sure that you knew where everyone worked.
Yeah.
So April Dunleavy runs the Dunleavy Institute.
Right.
Wes Larson used to run the let me make sure I have this right. The Larson Box Company, Box and
Yeah.
Paper Company.
That's
They
good.
are now doing business as Larson Industries Limited. So box and paper is just like is that like Dunder Mifflin? Is that even? No, Dunder Mifflin didn't make boxes. So
But how can
that's
you
like
say you can't give somebody or help somebody with a job when the company, your name is the name of the company?
exactly. It sounds like you don't have a lot of power over
Piece
there,
of
Larson.
garbage or
And
piece of
then Wes
cardboard, I should say.
Wes was a boy genius, or not Wes Van Dabney
Yeah.
Coleman was a boy genius at McCullough Marketing. So that's where everybody worked. It was very important that we got all those businesses in. And of course, you can pick up your Dunleavy Institute merch at the merch store. We are
We've got
not selling
official,
Larson box and paper. So
yeah, we've got officially, Wes Larson cardboard boxes. Um, wait a minute, wait a minute. All this talk about marketing, you're gonna market a cardboard box and paper? What
well, he didn't
what what
hire.
what are you
That's
doing?
why he
You're like,
didn't hire him.
"Paper."
That's
Yeah,
why
oh,
he had to
you're
go
right
to
on
the
it.
that's why
What
he had to go to the board to hire a marketing guy. He's like,
just it's paper and cardboard, you know? "Hey, where do I put this stuff?" "Ah, in a
"Hey,
box." It just
is it lined?" "Yes."
I bet you they sold way more cardboard boxes back then simply because there was, like, no recycling. I
Or
bet you
internet.
threw away less and you stored more back then, I bet. Or you
I would
just
love
threw
to
everything away.
I would love to see his, his profit sheet for Q4. How the hell he's making that much money, I have no
He's
idea.
just full of it. He's got a storage facility full of secrets. That's what Wes
He's
does.
funded by the Ayatollah.
He's just a real, "Yeah, I heard you love Iran," you know? Screw that guy. Uh, Julie's good friend Karen Maynard is boarding the ship. Uh, Steubing and Doc immediately throw themselves at her. And again, Mike, we talk about it almost every week. It amazes me that there's just nothing to do. People are boarding the ship,
Yeah.
and you're doing this. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
this
you
is
have two
a
sticks to operate, but this is ridiculous.
this might be and this is a big statement.
Yeah.
If you take out the actual, jobs that were being done for flirting purposes or for retaliation purposes, nobody's working,
Nobody does anything.
and this might be the most egregious not working that we've seen. Like,
Well, how
usually
about
there's somebody like, usually Isaac's making a drink or something, like, nobody works this entire time, and then a lot of them are not even not working, they're they're doing, like, Julie gets off the boat for a
Ju-
while.
Julie is so like interwoven with this couple, and I'm just thinking, what?
Yeah.
What? No, I don't want you. No,
You
take
know
your
why?
spoon back.
You know why?
Because
She's still
she's
trying to get Robert Urich.
oh,
All
goes.
these episodes 27 episodes
She's like,
later.
you look like someone I used to try to make out with.
That's
You know,
right. Remember when I made out with you and then you left the boat with your baby? So,
Robert Urich. He's probably just had enough of Julie's shenanigans. I'm never coming back because you're just
I just
getting
think
all
it's
up in my.
funny. I just think it's funny because he's the second person to have 3, right? Michelle Lee had
Yeah,
3.
yeah.
But it's just funny because I feel like they always moved Michelle Lee around. I feel like Robert Urich has had Julie like, a lot of Julie plot in every
Lots
one.
of Julie. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
Oh, so yeah, Doc and Steubing immediately throwing themselves at her, and the competition is on, Mike. Uh,
competition.
this the competition's on. I'm just going to leave it at that scene because
Yeah.
they're running away. We get it. We get it.
Uh, do you really think if you dial 1 in a cabin, you get the captain of the boat?
Where's he gonna answer it? He doesn't have a cell phone or a pager. There's just gonna be some phone ringing, or every phone rings a special ring?
And he's never on the bridge anyway. Plus, would you really want to be that accessible if you were the captain of a boat theoretically doing work?
Well, from what we've seen, I don't even know if there's a phone on the bridge. That thing looked like the biggest, like, makeshift, "Oh, look at my clubhouse. Oh, this
There's
is terrible. It's raccoons, and nobody else is here." Okay.
a pretty fun
Uh,
slide in the back. Yeah.
Looked like they were at Red Lobster standing in there. That was ridiculous.
I cannot I cannot
Oh,
believe that's how we finally got the steering
I
wheel. So
that's just my ticker tape close-ups are back. What? I was irritated by this.
I was too. Because
Like, leave it out.
this is like,
It's a
okay,
slap,
we
man.
are we are firmly back in season 1, and the only reason we got portals is because we realized people will catch on that we're
You
back in
just threw
season
them in
1.
there, but you can't. Oh, and we see Steubing back on those 2 stupid sticks.
But
Uh,
it was like a lower shot.
it was. Well,
I
I have a
actually went
theory.
back a couple times and tried to pause it because I was like, "It can't be the same shot." Like, it
No,
looks better.
it does.
That's the only thing that's done better. It's way better than him pulling the sticks.
Well, you can see now my theory is those sticks, I'm like, "What is he doing?" He's controlling the ticker tape cannons that shoot at the boat. That's what it is. Only 2 of them. It's a button,
Oh, so
button. That's
it's
it.
the Rip Taylor guns,
That's
like,
it, but just a little bit more. Yep, that's it. Because Steubing is full of pizzazz.
oh, razzmatazz.
Oh, we're on the outside set, and the winds are a whipping, Mike. Finally, we have wind. Doesn't seem to affect the microphones at all. 'Cause everyone's like this now.
Very natural,
Very
very
natural.
natural.
Julie and Karen talking about the pool. Apparently, Julie does zero work. Doc comes up with a tiny bottle of champagne for he and Karen. And you already know what's going to happen. Oh, here comes Steubing with a big old magnum of champagne, a
Yeah,
comical, like an F1 size bottle of champagne.
right.
Ugh,
Steubing eventually says the thing that we're all thinking already, but this is ridiculous that a captain is already like,
you got to go to
"You paying
props.
f you paying for that, Merrill?"
Exactly. Or maybe he
Last
won it
2
like 30 years ago. It's been
yeah,
in his room.
you think well, that big size Magnum wouldn't fit in that tiny office of his now.
No, no,
You
no.
think, the Princess line has a rule against captains taking a Magnum of booze?
What, and sharing it with one passenger?
Yeah,
I
you
would
made a
think
big
so.
deal about that's why Tony had to pay, right?
Unless this is one of the reasons why he won Captain of the Year. Like, wow, you go above and beyond for your passengers. He's so
The,
stupid.
the beginning of this scene when Karen's talking to Julie and
Yeah.
she's, like, jealous of Julie's job and Julie starts, like, downplaying and everything, and she's like, "And if I lost my job, I'd kill myself." And I was like, "Oh, Julie,
Yeah, and she looks right into the camera.
I do it. I
Oh,
do it too." So
she said she mouths Lauren twos just to get her poor Julie.
this was so I'm gonna call this the 3rd thing, obviously the
Yeah,
portals, the ticker tape, and then this is like, we don't know what Julie is
no,
season 1. Like,
no,
they have underused her in season 2, to a almost criminal point.
absolutely.
But this is like straight out of we're just throwing shit at the wall with Julie, so
Well, every week it was some new personality trait that
right.
was a little like Jesus, Julie.
And she's in 2 storylines this
Yeah,
week. So you get 2 different Julies too, like,
it's too much. It's
yeah.
too much, Julie. From a distance, Isaac and Gopher are watching this go down, and they make $100 bet. Isaac thinks Doc will woo woo Karen, and Gopher's money is on Steubing.
That's a
Fair
smart bet
enough.
by Isaac.
Oh, completely. Here we go back to Larry and Sybil in their cabin, which somehow has been turned into like a nursery from wall to wall. There's so much baby furniture in this room.
Right. And, like,
It's
here's the thing.
absurd.
First of all, having recently transported a newborn baby,
Did
I
you take a
feel
boat
like
home? You take a
wouldn't take a
boat
boat.
home when you brought him
No,
home?
no.
No.
So
You didn't take a
No.
cruise to bring them home? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, what did they book the, like, "We just got a baby suite"? Because Julie didn't seem to know that they were doing that, and I don't think you can just straight up bring furniture onto a boat.
Surprise. Surprise. Plus, what baby's gonna be fussy? You're picking them up at a questionable orphanage, which I do
Yeah,
have the name. I don't have it right in front of me right now, but you're picking up an infant. You know what? Let's combine picking up a baby in Mexico to, a cruise.
yeah,
Everyone will be happy.
sure.
Oh,
I'm sure all the shots are being taken care of and everything. Let's also
oh, I
make sure
can't
we're
see
on a
it.
vessel with 600 people.
That's true. What could happen? What could
Yeah,
go wrong? Do you guys
yeah.
have formula? I see you have everything else in this room. Or did they have formula back then?
I don't know if they had
How else
formula.
is the baby gonna
I think
eat?
they're just he's just getting one of Isaac's, world famous pina
World
coladas.
famous pina co it'll yeah, you could drink that through a nipple because it was such nonsense. Liquid bullshit is what that drink is. Awful.
Do you
Um,
think that,
mm,
do you think that they are in fact naming the baby after Robert Urich's father, Robin, or it's after, 1/3 of the supergroup, the Bee Gees, Robin Gibb?
I yes. Yes, I think it is the Brothers Gibb wins that, or unless it's Robin Hood
Oh, good
or
point.
Robin Yount.
Too early for Robin
Too
Yount. I
early.
was thinking, yeah. I mean, I guess Dick Grayson could have been the
Yeah,
ultimate Robin.
the
Yeah,
ultimate Robin.
yeah.
Uh, Robin Masters, no.
You know what? Maybe they were
Mm.
naming it after their future son because he's always robbing people.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Pepito!
Oh, yeah. Hey, do me a favor. Can we say what do they get? A dollar every time somebody said Pepito? It was a let's play the
Pepito!
Pepito.
Pepito!
If that was the drinking game, yeah, do this, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to watch this episode, every time you hear the word Pepito,
Yeah.
have a sip.
First of all, don't watch it.
Don't.
Second of all, that is why I'm wearing this P though. This is not for Phillies. This is
It's
for
for
Pepito.
Pepito. That makes sense. Yeah, the P in Captain stands for Pepito as well. Uh,
Capito!
Julie is on the door and she brings him a gift from the ship's boutique because they would have baby spoons at a ship's boutique
Thank
along
you.
with
Thank you.
Swank magazine or
Right.
whatever. Good lord,
That's
but no
like
sunglasses.
no sunglasses,
No,
300, bottles of Oriental Wind, all the
and
kitten magazines you want.
300 pairs of pantyhose because that's what you wear to the pool.
Yes, and 1 baby spoon.
One gold baby spoon. That's
Well,
great.
actually, I guess do you think they have all the other stuff? Like, they have the crib and everything, that's where they bought the
At the ship, it's amazing they had everything we needed.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
one-stop shop. Meanwhile, there's,
and it's all put
ice
together too.
all of a sudden, you start seeing people take the ice cream out. It's just like, "Oh, no."
Oh no. It's all adding up, but I do love ice cream. I did notice specifically in this storyline, there was an annoying amount of laugh track used.
Yeah, they
It's
knew.
like,
They
oh,
knew.
it was just so much.
Well, and also
Um,
because, like, to your point, between the being on the deck with the wind and then the, uh, weird, we're just gonna sit in an orphanage for 5 minutes scene, like, they didn't have, like, natural sound either. It was clearly just a lotta and this was, like, because they shot it a year ago, it
yeah,
didn't even have, like, what they have kind of started using as their normal, like, act break soundtrack. So,
it was a very odd, and we didn't have the extra long shots. I noticed too. It was
yeah. Oh, it looked and I have been saying this, during the season, there are episodes that look a lot better.
yeah,
This looked cheap. This
it did
looked
look cheap.
this looked like somebody shot it on their home video cam well, it wasn't
It
even
was all
video.
thrown together.
It
It
was like
really
one of those
felt like it was just
yeah.
um, loudspeaker announcements
Mhm.
announcing that Jackpot Bingo is now in progress in the Starlight Lounge. Um, great that they announced that, but following that announcement, we're in a bar called the Pirates Cove, Mike. That's what the window says. The
Oh, I
pirate bar
missed
has a
that.
name. Yeah.
But that
Uh, yeah.
okay. So you're telling me they prequeled the Pirates Cove? So,
I mean, I saw it on a window, but it
I
was
mean, that
weird
counts.
because it was facing in. Like, wouldn't the logo be out? Like, who's the
Well,
logo for?
if the
The inside
logo's
people or the outside people?
well, it's for the people, it's for the Dolphins.
Then they have it backwards.
Yeah. Well, no one
So
was dressed like Isaac, though.
no, no, there was a sort of a somewhat pirate-ish waitress, but nothing like
Okay.
I
You know what?
Isaac the human owl.
I'll at least maybe give him that, but again, because I know this stuff was shot out of order.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Wait a minute,
I'm
didn't
gonna
I
keep
say a
my
couple
eyes
weeks
open.
ago if we saw something about that bar that proved it was out of order? God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's
But the thing is,
4.
those are those things that always get us because 'cause we're like, "Damn it, it's not hard. Hey, I'll
No.
meet you at the Pirates Cove." "Okay. Okay, cool, cool." We
Yeah,
can
or
assume that where all these pirates are is the Pirates Cove.
did you throw that sign away that you couldn't put it back up when the Billy Barty's sitting there pounding whatever Mai Tais or
Well,
whatever?
I don't know if pounding. I mean, it wasn't a lot of liquid in the glass, so
Well, Isaac is busy. Isaac
yeah,
couldn't pour with those flouty sleeves, so
it's yeah, he "Sir, can you please get your sleeves out of my drink?
yeah,
I
because your
can't help it."
your blouse is drenched, so
"Oh, it's terrible. Why did I wear this on picture night? It's just terrible." Um, that son of a bitch Wes is talking about all the money he makes to Van. Wes and Renee excuse themselves, leaving Van and April to chat. Van says he owned a marketing company, but when his wife died, he took a sabbatical and did a couple years in the Peace Corps. Okay.
he tried to teach Bolivians marketing, which is a noble task. Good guy that Van Milner.
I just find that hard to believe. Believe. Bolivia. Karen and Julie.
How did the Larson Box and Paper Company make $6 million profit last year?
I mean,
First of all, I
my
shouldn't know that, Wes. Have a
no,
little
no, you
have a little
shouldn't know that.
couth. But,
Yeah,
like, how? $6 million in
and
1978 probably is like what? A zillion
oh, it's just
dollars.
just not
Like,
even a number. You just got to have a truck of abacuses.
oh,
It's
do you think
completely ridiculous.
you know what it is?
Hmm.
The boxes are filled with counterfeit money.
Bonds
Right. That's
like
why.
Beverly Hills Cop.
He literally made $6 million last year.
He's just talking crazy. Just he's full of it. And shady. I always thought Reuben was shady, and I think that son of a bitch Wes is shady as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Karen and Julie are entering the lounge, and I noticed, Mike, this was a weird. And I'm trying to figure out: is this the whiskey sour lounge where Loretta Swit? Remember when they were having?
Oh, you know what? Yeah,
Because I
it
don't.
might be.
It didn't look. It was weird. The setup. It was those like booth chair thingies, and
It might
it
be
was a
because
bit
we
odd.
don't get a lot of outdoor drinking like that,
Yeah, no, no,
and that's
not
what
at
the
all.
whiskey sour was. So, yeah, that is possible.
Um, she tells Julie that Steubing is strong and handsome,
Mhm.
uh, and Doc is romantic and has quote unquote great hands.
Okay.
Okay, great. We cut to Doc Steubing sitting at separate tables. Karen's caught between them until Steubing orders Doc to go prepare his weekly medical report. Score one for Steubing.
That was good. That
That
was
was
pretty
good.
good. You gotta give Steuben credit. That
It was
was
good.
yeah.
And we go to our first break. All right. All right. We got
Yeah.
some things cooking here. We come back. We're in the choral dining room. Julia loves to ask that band leader to play something. And apparently he doesn't even have to communicate what it is. The band just starts playing. She says, "Can the band play? Yes, sir. That's my baby. Hey, how about you don't be such a Budinsky, Julie? Don't you have a job to do? Or a meal to eat or something to
Does
do.
does this does this
Oh,
band know anything prior to
who's
WW2?
Leslie
Like,
Nielsen's singing this one? Oh, I love that one.
oh my god.
Just
Yes, sir.
for
Just
Larry and Sybil. So in the last two scenes, she's buying him a spoon. Now she's doing this like, "God, leave him alone. There's 600 people on the ship. There's two of them
she's
here."
she's going to kill Sipple Hartman and steal that baby.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what
She's
she's
like,
doing.
"You're
She's like
with me, Rob
Julie's like, "Listen, Yurik,
or
you get
Larry."
off this boat with a baby once, you're
One
not
time. Yeah,
getting
yeah,
off
yeah.
again."
Yeah. Over my dead body.
Yeah,
For
literally.
real. Julie's
Yeah.
lost her. You know what? Uh,
"Yes, sir, that's my baby." Like, she was being very literal.
just
Like,
ooh. Yeah. Can you play Orphan, Orphan, Orphan? Like, good lord, man.
"Can you play
Uh,
the Raising Arizona theme?"
just do you know La Cucaracha? Just something. Um, Julie has a band play. Julie asked Larry and Sybil if they would like her to accompany them to the orphanage. What the hell? And then Sybil's like, I thought you'd never
Thought you
ask.
never ask. Like,
What?
"Hey,
What
hey,
is going
Robert
on
Urich,
here?
listen. On this,
Listen,
the most important day in our young family's history, do you
yeah,
think it's possible that the cruise director would join us to go to the minister?"
that'd be like, Mrs. Robertson's in labor, and you guys are about
Mhm.
to have the baby, and then you hear and it's me, and I'm like, all right, we going? Is it go time? I'm like,
No,
what?
here's
What
the
are
thing,
you doing?
as dumb as that sound, no, it's not you. It's the
Yeah,
guy who drove the bus to
yeah,
the hospital
yeah.
that I don't know.
That's
Like,
true. Oh, yeah, yeah, that's true. It's not even me. It's
it's a
the guy who
complete
sat next to
stranger.
me on the Greyhound bus.
Right,
Yeah, there's
right.
Bill. Do you mind? Yeah, it's not like
I
it's a
I
big moment or anything.
listen, you might want some help around town.
She's just
Thanks, Julie.
thanks, Julie.
Yeah.
Ugh, she's so needy too. Like
Oh,
she's just
god. Oh, she inserts herself like 50 times
oh,
into this,
good lord, it's
and
just
no
uncomfortable.
time a helpful way either.
No, just she's such a like I said, she's such a Badinsky, man. Stop being it's just like I've heard of the phrase like in the customer service world, you teach classes and they say, teach people positive selfishness. And this isn't positive selfishness. It's
No.
like she wants to be in that moment because she
Yeah.
fears she'll never have that or whatever. Like she's just crazy if she wants to be. Poor Julie. April and Van are having drinks, and Van's wearing an amazing red tuxedo jacket. Could not get enough of that jacket. Wow.
So good.
Oh, April again. She starts yammering. I'm going to say yammering about the hospital.
Yeah, she's very
Uh,
business focused.
Good lord. And Van's like, "Can we stop? I don't want to talk about business. Just stop. Just stop."
This is where we get the acting, the master class where they're kind of talking over each other because she's still trying to talk about business and he's like, or we could talk about this. And then poor Larry Hamlin gets another shot. So
He does. He really does. Uh, it is funny. Yeah, so the question she is, how do I market a hospital? Which again is the most broad. Like you, what you want a quick answer?
well, I'll tell you
And
this. If
mm,
I was marketing a hospital, the first thing I would do is not call it the Dunleavy Institute.
yeah, I don't even know what it is. What
Like,
do you guys make
"Hey, I
glue?
broke my ankle. Could you please take me to the nearest institute?"
Yeah, take me to the DLV.
Yeah,
Dunley, no, the DLV. Yeah, that's stupid. Just
yeah. Let
call
me
it a
get to the
hospital.
Franklin Institute or the Art Institute or
How about you
so.
don't name it? How about you don't give it your last name? How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Way to make it about yourself, April. Jeez. Uh,
Dunleavy Hospital. There, done.
there it is.
Levy
Done.
Hospital.
Done.
There, done. Levy Hospital.
Uh, yeah, and Van's advice, stop talking. He tries to shut her up with some smooching, and it
Yeah,
works for now. For now.
yeah.
Uh, Julie, Sybil, and Larry arrive via taxi at Orfanatorio de Santa Teresa, my favorite orphanage in Mexico.
It is an elaborate, like, exterior shot. We get them out of the cab and
That's
into
some
this
money.
big old building, which looks like a grade school that I attended.
Yeah, it was an odd.
Um, and then, man, the cathedral ceilings are just,
The place was
muy
so
bueno,
spacious for an orphanage, and there was no.
muy bueno.
I didn't hear one child the whole time in the orphanage. I didn't hear a baby cry.
This life does not appear to be hard knocked.
No, 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 no. They're not eating gruel in this place because there's only one person.
The, once again, though, we haven't had we were just stepping over orphans in season 1, and I don't know that we've had an orphan since.
Unless it's the Pepitos, that one of the orphans from the ship before. He's just older now.
Oh,
Probably not.
that's true.
Probably not. Probably not.
Do you
But
think there was a Pepito in the Christmas episode last year?
they left him behind because he
Oh,
stole.
yeah, that's true. Anyway, I don't know why they decide to go orphan so often, but this was a level beyond orphan. So,
Yeah, this was. We're they're greeted by a young boy named Pepito. Take a drink. If you're playing the Pepito drinking game. Uh, he says all they have at the orphanage is bread and water, then tricks Larry into looking away while he steals his glasses.
way to go,
I
Larry.
can't stand Pepito. I know why he's in an orphanage because a
Already.
lot of other people couldn't stand him either.
It really is. We always talk about it, but I act 2 was where I confirmed
Oh,
that I hate 2 of the storylines.
oh,
Like,
I'm so
it's
with you. Act two just, yeah, Act one, I was like, I was a little worried.
yeah,
Then Act two, I'm
yeah.
like, oh,
And I gotta
this
tell you, it's too early. Act 2 is too early to hate one of the storylines, and the whole show is too early to hate both the storylines.
just,
So,
it's, enter Father Ramos, who tells Pepito, well, let me go back. He's saying that all he has to eat is bread and water. Enter Father Ramos, tells him at Pepito that his roast beef lunch is getting cold and to give Larry's glasses back. My note is I've had enough of Pepito already.
well, you know who
Just,
else has,
hmm.
is the Padre.
Oh, he's
This
there
is an
was never a
elaborate.
baby to this was
Exactly. This is an incredibly elaborate, well, actually, it's not even that elaborate because the Hartmans were like, "We're gonna get into a boat that you cannot reach us in case anything
yeah,
changes."
father's like he's not a pyromaniac if that's what you think. He's not that.
Right.
Get him on a boat.
Sleep with one eye open.
Suddenly the music changes. Uh-oh, things get real serious. Father Ramos has some bad news for. How long did they like? When did this happen? Okay, sorry. The birth mothers
Why
decide to
would you
keep the
come
baby.
why would
Right.
you come when they came? Either come way early so you're there for the birth, or come after you got that baby all signed, sealed, and
I,
delivered.
something, but like, why wouldn't they call him and say, "Hey, don't bother coming to Mexico. We're
Well,
gonna,"
because I guess
or like, "We'll break that news to you." Where she left an hour ago, or I mean, I don't. It's
well,
weird.
you know why, because the
Hmm,
Padre was like, "Ah, these idiots will take
dummies.
Pepito." So,
I'll keep the baby here because she's pleasant and she's very quiet. Actually,
oh,
she's not
yeah.
fussy at all.
Yeah, I can't wait till season 9 when we go back to the orphanage and little little
Little
Robin is
Pepita,
running around,
little
you know.
little Robin. That's funny. Um, Julie tries to console Sybil by saying, giving the worst advice possible. There'll be other babies. Oh, the
This is my
worst.
favorite part. She does the classic acting move of, "Oh, Mrs. Hartman, Sybil." It's just like, come yes, cruise director? I meant to bring this up when they walked in. The the Hartmans introduced themselves, and then they introduced Julie, and the priest doesn't even flinch, and it's like,
Yeah,
"Hi,
who
this
are
is
you?
I'm
Yeah.
Larry Hartman. This is my wife. We're gonna be the parents of the baby, and also we brought the lady who takes the tickets at the
Mhm.
airplane." So,
We
like,
met
it's
her on the Lido deck.
yeah.
Yeah. No, she wants to be here.
She bought us a spoon. It's important she was here.
She got us. We were able to fly with one bag for free. So we thought, um, thanks, Julie, for saying that, by the way.
Yeah.
Father Ramos says, oh, coincidentally, there's another child that needs a family. Guess who? I don't know, maybe the only child we've seen in the orphanage. It's Pepito.
Hey.
Hey, Pepito. And Sybil thinks it's a great idea, and Larry was like, hell no. We came to get a baby. I don't even know. This kid's got a mustache. How old is this? He didn't say that, but Larry's like, no.
Anytime that you go into a store and there's only one item left, you gotta, like, take a second, right?
Well, yeah, you have to assess how long it's been there. Is it
Right, like, is
damaged?
there only one item left because it's such a popular item and you are lucky? Or is it only one item left because that thing's been there since 1974?
Yeah, it's a
So
difference between what an opportunity or what a horrible mistake it was for me to eat that whatever was in that last package. It's terrible. There's a reason.
so
If Pepito
so
was milk, it would have expired many, many, many years ago.
they they the minister, he knew. He had
Oh,
the fish hook. He knew what he was doing.
it's a
But
ruse.
he tells them, like, "Take your time on this decision, no pressure," basically.
Yeah,
Like, you, at minimum, need to get back in the cab, back on the boat,
that's
talk
it.
about it at the bar, sleep on it. You do not go home with Pepito immediately.
You're saying they should talk about it, or they should talk about it with Julie and come up with a decision
Yeah, as a family.
as a family. I mean, you know how Adam Bricker feels about family. We heard that last week. Remember, this is uh, um, Julie reminds them, and screw you, Julie. By the
She was
way,
way too involved.
it just reminds them how cute Pepito is, and
Easy, Julie.
yeah, settle. As the
Oh,
priest tells them to take their time.
you know what it is?
What is it?
Julie's got eyes for the priest. He's old and he's a priest.
Oh, gotta
Yeah, she's
have
trying to
them.
get
Gotta
Pepito
have
out
them.
of there.
Yeah,
Listen, Julie's in this port every trip.
I'll be back in 4.5 days,
Yeah, we'll work
Padre.
up
Yeah,
another roast beef sandwich there,
no more
father.
seat blocking for Pepito.
That's what it
Jeez.
is.
Um, but then Pepito comes in dressed with luggage in hand, and then I'm like, so that means they have to take him? Like you can't you can't force somebody into that a yes that big.
And, like,
That'd be like if I went on a blind date and the girl showed up in a wedding dress and I'd have to go, guess I have to get married
oh,
now.
well, yeah, yeah,
No,
no.
no.
And here's the thing, you have a getaway car, like, it's not like Pepito's gonna follow you home.
You have a getaway ship. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He can't follow you.
I get that you are desperate. I do get it, and I think the padre was predatory in his actions,
Yeah.
but you can't make that decision on the fly. You just can't. You are devastated in the moment.
They
They
didn't
would have
seem
taken
devastating, to be
anybody.
honest with you. Like their devastation lasted part of a scene. It
I feel like they
wasn't
just want
even.
I feel like they really just want the earned income credit.
I was just thinking the write off. My little Pepito deduction. How do you say deduction in Espanol?
L deduction.
Uh, Also, Mike, we had a few downloads this week from Mexico itself. So,
There you go.
hola to our Mexican fans, um,
Big Pepito heads down there.
big time. Uh, Lucky for you, we've got something in the merch store. It's the El Pepito Dollo on a sticko, and you hit a button. It just says Pepito,
Oh,
Pepito,
Pepito.
Pepito, Pepito, and he's oh, and he's eating roast beef. It's a whole thing.
He loves it. He loves
We're
it.
we're back on the Lido deck, and Van and that son of a bitch Wes are driving. Well, Van is driving golf balls. Wes is just being the son of a bitch that Wes always is. I
Impressive that we finally got this, right? We haven't actually seen this. People have talked
no,
about it, but we haven't actually seen the golf thing.
yeah.
This is
I mean,
basically replacing skeet shooting in
yeah.
terms of, like, outdoor activity that these guys can talk at, so
It's kind of lame that it's a net.
it's kinda
Like,
lame that they shot it through the net for,
yeah, it
like, a
was
minute.
weird.
Like,
Like, what are
so
we doing here? We find out Van was a victim of downsizing. He's been out of work for a year. Wait a minute, is he? Did his wife really die?
Yeah.
Yes, right? Okay, okay.
Yeah, wife dies, he drops out of work, goes to the Peace Corps. He
Peace
tries
Corps,
to get
okay.
back in.
And
The guy
then
who replaced him,
oh,
they
a year
liked him,
ago.
so he didn't get his job, and then he hasn't been able to
Gotcha.
find a job. So
Okay. So he's down to his last few dollars. Van asks about working with Wes, and Wes is just, "Oh, I really wish I could
yeah. Yeah,
just
you're real powerful executive
yeah,
there, Wes
real
Larson.
powerful. Your name's on the company."
You can't get somebody that you chased him down on the boat. Let's remember that.
And I felt like Wes was threatened by Van,
Oh,
like,
100%.
in a bunch of different ways,
Yeah.
just like
The only time he was nice to Wes or to Van was when he knew he already had a job.
or when he started winning money at
Yeah.
the end,
Yeah.
everyone was real forgetful when you start putting thousands of dollars up on a
Yeah, actual money too, not that money that they
yeah,
print at the Larson Box and Paper Company.
stupid West Bucks also at the merch store. Uh, uh, Mike, this is a huge moment in the show, not just the Love Boat show, but for our
Our
show.
show? Yeah.
For the first time in 37 episodes of this project, we're on the bridge, or are we? Mike, there is no way in hell that a ship this size, right? That the
Mhm.
bridge of a ship this size, there was no blinking lights, there's no navigation things. It was one wheel and a window. There's no way in hell. That is a fake steering wheel. That is a fake steering wheel. I mean, there's no
It
way.
does
There's no
seem
way.
it did seem a little underwhelming after all this time.
Yeah. A wooden wheel like that's all it was?
Yeah, it did look like
I
it was like a Long John Silver's entrance.
yeah. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
eating you can see they were having, clam strips while they were steering this wheel. Just and no
Yeah, it
crew up
was
there.
I mean, we obviously have built it up, right, into it being a big thing. This was
So
incredibly
disappointing.
disappointing that this is how we got it. But yeah, they could have dressed up the set. I don't need it to be Star Trek, right? But
No, but give me
y
some
give me
technology.
where's that stupid, compass thing that
Or
he
that
gave
ball thing that
Tony? Yeah,
there's
for
nothing. There's
Christmas or
nothing.
something, like,
There's
yeah.
nothing there. There's not a
Give
blinking
me one of
light.
those
There's not
give
a
me one of those,
compass.
like, thin telescopes or,
I
something.
I didn't see the letters N, S, E, or W. I saw nothing.
Yeah,
So what are you steering against? Just visual? What are you just
give me a
eyeballing it, Stubing?
give me a parrot. And is
Nothing.
he like, a ship that size too, would the steering wheel only be a one-person job?
It'd probably
Like,
be a big
wouldn't there
old
be, like, a
wheel.
second person up there just in
So
case?
stupid. It's so stupid. I've seen cars with bigger steering wheels than that. Completely ridiculous.
It just and this is really where I started to get pissed because it's like, this is what the first thing is gonna be? This is it? It's like if the first home run in a new ballpark is hit by some scrap player that you don't like, like,
Well,
it's just like
it's just insulting, like you guys might as well said you were at the moon. Oh, look, we're on the moon. Like, come on. There's zero imagination here. Um, However, we did see this episode Steubing and his two sticks,
Yep,
but what we did not see, we still have not seen Steubing steer the ship.
that's true.
So
So the only person who's actually steered the boat is
yeah,
Karen Maynard.
Karen Maynard,
That's ridiculous.
captain. Yeah,
Captain
mm,
Karen Maynard.
Captain K. She enter Doc, who calls the captain out for violating maritime law. Apparently, it's against sea rules to let a passenger steer the ship. Well, who else is going to steer it, Mike? No one else is going to steer the ship if Karen Maynard's not going to steer the ship. Steer the ship.
I
And off.
wish what would have saved this episode is if Doc had just decided to go all for it and, like, the actual Coast Guard shows up and arrests Steubing,
Oh, just take
like,
it
right
too
away,
far. Yeah,
or, like, takes him down. Like, just
that'd be fantastic.
I would give this a high rating if that happened.
Oh, and then he just becomes the captain. Throws an eye patch on, and it's Adam's boat now. We got
That's
new
right.
rules. Um. So yeah, Doc wins that round. back to Pepito again. If you're
Pepito!
following along at home, have a drink. He's upset because there's only a crib in Larry and Sybil's cabin. It is true. Like you'd think that maybe they would address that. Like, hey, don't be weirded out that there's a crib. We thought we were picking up an infant. We're not going to treat you as though you're an infant, like
Let
that
me level
gangster
with you,
baby.
Pepito.
Yeah, and in Bugs
Plus,
Bunny.
Julie couldn't have called ahead, get that room cleared out?
No kidding. If they could get all that crap put together, assembled, that was
What happens to all that stuff?
firewood.
Well, you know what? I mean, let's be honest, Larry Hartman was a bit of a temper boy.
Oh,
Like,
he's
he
none too pleased.
destroys that crib, right? I mean, he absolutely destroys that crib.
Like one of those rage room kind of things where they put
Yeah,
the helmet on. He's just
yeah, yeah,
every wet wipe, he's throwing
yeah.
it against the wall. Actually, there's probably before.
He breaks it like it's hardcore heaven. Like, it's just
He's
like
so mad. He's so mad.
he's mad
24/7
here's the thing,
champ.
he's mad about everything. He's mad about he didn't get a baby, he's mad
Yep.
that he did get a Pepito, he's just
He's just
mad.
pissed.
He's mad that he can't hit Pepito, he's definitely mad he can't hit Pepito.
He wants to hit Pepito so bad. Well, Pepito steals glasses. He steals watches. Like,
He's
hey,
mad they
little,
found he's mad they found Pepito.
they're stuck. I guess that talk didn't last long for their decision. Oh
Look,
well.
I'm
Oh,
sure it'll be fine.
Pepito.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, it's all gonna work out great.
Yeah,
Um, he also Pepito, Drake, also doesn't like that they wanted to name the baby Robin.
that's fair.
Uh, that's fair. Uh,
Robin's a bad name
that's a
for a
bad
guy.
name. Yeah.
For a guy, especially for a young Latino.
If you're trying to grow a mustache and you have a little bit of one, you don't want to like switch your name from Pepito, have a drink to Robin.
Plus, I don't wanna
You
switch
don't
it
want
when I'm
that.
13 years old.
No. I got to switch my middle name,
Okay.
ironically, when I was like 13, 12,
To
13.
Pepito?
No, I was all psyched. I remember I wanted like Luke, or Bo. Luke
Oh,
Skywalker, like Bo Duke.
yeah, and you
Couldn't
got
get
Uncle
either.
Jesse.
Yeah, I got an uncle that like was in the British Army that I met twice instead.
Aw.
So that's fine.
I
Um,
wonder if it's too late to change my son's name to Pepito.
you uh, let's do it just for
Let's
like a
find out.
week.
Let's find
Let's
out.
get the paperwork, or we just start. I just want to call everyone Pepito from now.
Pepito!
Hey, Pepito. Also in the merch shop, we have the Pepito action figure. Uh, yeah, he asked me to play Go Fish.
Pepito.
Pepito said he's not a
It's Pepito Joe.
Pepito
A real
Joe.
a real a real American hero.
Oh, well, it's funny. You can age him too. Like his mustache comes off with just a piece of tape. You can go clean top lip or older top lip. It's wonderful.
Don't lose your Pepito Joe All-American
Mm-mm.
Hero action
Don't lose
figure.
them. Yes, send in the proof of purchase if you like the which one is it? If you want to get the limited edition Father Ramos action figure. Uh, uh, that's funny.
Comes with a
Uh,
roast beef sandwich.
comes with the roast beef sandwich. We go to break. Um, whew, Act two, man, just sucked the life out of me. We're back, and there's a sunset talk going on between Van and April.
Yep,
He offers him that job, and he accepts. There we go, Mike. That
yep,
storyline's all wrapped up, and we can
yep.
just move on. That
Seems
was done.
seems fine to me.
Seems
I need
fine.
somebody to work. You
Yeah,
need somebody
he needs to work.
to I hate Jerry Hamlin.
Yeah.
So,
What he needed a job. She had a job for him. Done. What
yeah.
could go wrong? We see Steuben dancing with Karen when Doc cuts in.
Oh,
Steuben told Karen that Doc was a former alcoholic, which is kind of funny.
yeah.
Doc gets back at him by telling Karen the captain sunk two ships, which is way worse. Yeah, he
Right,
sunk two ships. He killed hundreds of people. He killed
right.
1,200 people.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Have you ever read Berman's book of encyclopedias?
It's him. It's the captain's personal journal.
That
Uh,
the
mm,
whole lying bit was probably the best part of it,
yeah,
but it looks really bad when we just did the Alex and Wally pizza bet. It's the
yeah.
exact same storyline.
It is. It absolutely is. It's a terrible placement for this.
Yeah.
They're probably like, "Well, crap, we can't put this on season 3." Like, we can't
No, that would be
just
ridiculous. Yeah. We
empty
can
the reserves, basically.
listen, it's Christmas, everybody's watching Dean Martin
Yeah,
or
nobody's watching this.
Buford
Buford
Purser.
Pusser. Yeah, either way. Outside on the deck, Steubing asks Karen to come to his cabin. Uh-oh, Steubing's trying to
Oh,
seal the deal here. She accepts, but then Steubing is called to the bridge over the loudspeaker, which is, and it was Isaac that did it. Look at him.
yeah, nice
Look
job,
at him.
Isaac.
Nicely done, Isaac.
He see, I hesitate to say improved because this probably happened before the gin sting, but he sounded much better on the intercom than he did when he was trying to bust Wendell Sneed,
Oh, absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely. I just hope we get to hear Gopher do his Steubing impression again. It's been a
Uh,
while. We only got to hear him do it once.
fingers crossed.
Come on, Fred Grandy. Uh, Doc takes over with Karen in the moonlight. Gopher runs up and says the crew has a lifeboat drill. Look at you guys, man. I say that's a draw that round. Nobody
Yeah.
wins that.
How far do you think Gopher went with the lifeboat
I mean,
bit
he had one
before he
on.
right, but do you think he actually gets in the water or, like,
It's
waits
a
till
great,
Doc gets in the
yeah.
water?
How long? Oh, we got to go to the opposite side of the ship.
Right. "Oh, we have
Like,
to go home."
what do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
How long does those shenanigans last? 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
then
don't
we
know.
see him later and Doc's at a bar.
Yeah.
You're
Not
like, what?
soaking wet.
Yeah, yeah, not in a lifeboat. Nowhere near a lifeboat, unless that's the drill. During that
Oh,
drill, he just gets hammered.
you know what it is?
Mm.
It's the name of the bar, it's the Lifeboat.
Oh, it's
Right.
not the Pirates
It's
Cove.
not the pirate
Lifeboat's
different
the
bar.
bar.
It's not
Different
a
bar.
Pirate Cove bar, drill.
Everyone walks in dressed like Marty McFly. Are you in the Navy? No, 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 I'm not in the Navy. Uh, April's getting ready for dinner. Here we go. That's son of a bitch Wes. Now you'll know what I'm talking about. He comes to the cabin and tells her that Van isn't who she thinks, and that he's washed up because he's been out of work for a year.
And then he says
What a
that he's
dick
been
move,
and
man.
then he says that he's been angling the whole time. He even hit me up for a job, which is like he barely hit you up for anything. You were having a conversation. He thought he was talking to a friend.
Well, but how many times did he tell April, enough of business, enough of business, enough of
Yeah.
business?
Yeah. Dabney Coleman did nothing wrong.
No. Wes
Generally,
is
I'll say
just
on the scale of blame here, right? Dabney Coleman, nothing wrong.
not
Um,
zero.
Rue McClanahan, 15% wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Her reaction to things was not great, but she eventually got over it.
Right.
Mrs. Larson, I'm going to say 20% because my guess is once Wes starts, rambling, flapping his
Oh,
lips, he's
she's
like,
on
"Well,
board. Yeah.
you got to tell." But the
Well,
rest,
she
whatever the
doesn't
math
want
is
to
beyond, the rest of it is. I think you're right. Wes Larson is jealous or worried about
something.
Van Milner, and he decides to jump in here.
Well, Wes's wife isn't gonna. She doesn't want to lose that margarine deal, so she can't say much.
Plus,
Figured to hurt her endorsements.
6 million in counterfeit bills. So,
Yeah, cardboard boxes full of fake money.
yep.
Just, ugh. uh, April confesses that yeah, she did offer Van a job, so now she has to rescind the offer. And again, like what you're saying, I'm like,
Why?
why?
Right.
What do you? Wes leaves and Van. Quick turnaround for Wes leaving and Van showing up.
Did they pass each other in the hallway?
And Wes was like, "My man, give me a hug." Like he's just
Oh,
a snake,
100%. See you at
just a
dinner.
piece of garbage. Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
can't wait to talk about blah blah blah. Just
Ugh.
knocks on the door. April tells Van that she can't see him anymore, and I'm like, okay, but I'm more upset that I'm scared I won't get to see that red jacket again. Is really what it's all about because he's wearing the red jacket again. But again, I was just like, wow, this is a reach, man. They do not care much about this storyline because
And
this is just weak.
this is where it's like just the sheer force of Dabney Coleman is carrying this because they had point A and they
Yeah.
had point C and they couldn't get to point B. And they just decided to just try and run right through it. But there was no actual logical reason for them to come at him.
No, they waited
So
till Act 3 to come up with a a problem
Yeah, and it's barely a thing.
or like conflict. It's like, geez,
Yeah.
that's a stretch, man.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't lie, there wasn't a scene where it was like,
No.
he never said, "I'm still working." He never said it.
Yeah, but whose business is it for him to say to somebody else, like, I'm down to my last buck or whatever?
Yeah.
Which, of course, it's so stupid. And we'll get to it here in just a second here, the rest of the story. But that's why the rest of the story was so just ticked me off because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, now we're all,
Yeah.
ooh, hey, ooh, just
Right.
Wes is just a piece of garbage, man. Just that
Oh, and
character
his
is
biggest
just a
I think
snake.
his biggest piece of garbage move is
Yeah.
actually about to happen.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Uh, they've turned the Coral Dining Room into Club Casino.
It's the
Oof.
1880s on the Mississippi.
It's just if you love riverboats,
What is
oof,
this, the end of Maverick the movie?
it's so
Like,
weird. Yeah, I'm waiting for some, big heist to take place. Just a
everybody's got a gun.
ugh. Where Larry and Sybil find Pepito.
Pepito!
Turn turns out turns out Pepito stole Larry's watch and sold it for gambling money.
You know what you
Uh,
wanna hear as a new parent is multiple people asking, "Have you seen Pepito?" So it's
well, it's funny. You tell me he's selling stolen property on a cruise. Some young kid going, Psst,
yeah,
oh, I'll take that. I'll take that Timex.
right. Yeah,
Come on.
like, there's no children on this boat ever, ever,
No.
but let me buy it off this young child
You just Larry, he's gonna take Pepito back to the cabin for a spanking.
and show him what it's like.
And that he's gonna beat the snot out of him and break all the furniture. Pepito's not coming out of that room. Uh Pepito says, drink. No one puts a hand on me. To
No
which
one puts
Larry
a hand on Pepito.
nobody pushes Pepito in a corner.
What if
Uh
Pepito had pulled a knife out? "You wanna
just cuts
go?
him up.
You wanna go, Spencer? Let's go."
Yeah, like a pincushion. You know, dad just
"Call me Robin. Call me Robin."
oh, it's just awful. Uh he says no one puts a hand on me and Larry says except your loving father, which was a really odd
I mean, he is
he
absolutely furious, which to your point means he got strong-armed at the orphanage by
wanted
the
no part.
wife, you
Uh
know?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Sybil pleads that Pepito just needs a good lecturing. Yeah, okay. And Pepito storms off again. And then I'm like, where are you going, dude? You're on a boat.
He's going to find
Okay.
some action.
Hide out on a boat. Okay. But
Well,
you're still on
here's
a
the thing,
boat.
though. You forgot
Mm,
the the best wait a minute, let me find it. You forgot the best advice, which was from, uh, Julie,
yeah.
who after, Robert York's gonna wail on him, and Sybil thinks he just needs a talking to, and Julie is like, "What? You should take a nap or something?" That's like
Yeah, yeah. Go sleep on it. Kind of like he did in that Isaac episode. Remember his wife? You've had a hard day. Why don't you go lay down? It was that that's
Julie,
funny.
you gotta stay out of it, hon. Like, this
Just
is yeah.
butt out. There's 600 people. There's 597 other people on this ship. You're the cruise director. You okay? Uh During Club Casino, Van starts winning at roulette. Everyone gathers around. Well, he doubles his winnings. He even asked April what her favorite number is. Wouldn't you think
11.
April would be like, "Get out of here, leave me alone"?
Well, she tried once. She said,
Puts it
"Don't
on.
do that." But,
No,
yeah, Dabney Coleman's gonna like, "I'm going to do it, so
yeah,
you
I'm
might as well
going.
get on board here."
So he puts it on the black 11, gets black 11, then starts putting it on black or red, black or red, black or red.
Yep,
Anyway, he ends up winning $14,000. And while he's doing this, suddenly that piece of garbage Wes is like cheering him on, like,
yeah.
"Oh, go ahead, Van." And Van, oof, like the character he is, he just leaves the money. He's like, "Here, give it to your hospital." But you're down to your last $100, Van. Get out of
I don't
here.
need it.
I don't
This
need
is where
it.
he says, "I don't need money. I don't need
Mm,
anything."
I don't need anything. Good
God
for
damn.
you.
God
Yeah.
damn. So a couple things. So
Love them.
$14,000 in 1978
That's a lot
is
of
worth
money, dude.
$69,000 today.
Woo.
That's a big chunk of change. The princess, uh, cannot afford that kind of money, so maybe this is an expensive cruise.
Yeah. How
Um,
do they have that much on hand?
I guess maybe it's in the emergency fund box. Maybe they
It's in that.
replenished it.
Yeah, where's Gopher? Yeah.
Um, the asshole move from Wes Larson here is Dabney Coleman is, gambling at the roulette table. They walk by him and decide to sit at the table right next to him.
Yeah.
Literally right next to him. This is a massive casino, and they just decide we're gonna put ourselves right here. And then, like to your point, Wes is like, "Oh, how you doing? How's it going, Van? Not good." And then
Yeah.
he
How do you
turns
think?
to and then he turns to April and he's like, don't worry about that guy. Forget about him. Get out
Like
of
he's
here.
right there. He's within earshot.
And you're Two-Face.
That guy's a piece of garbage, man. That's how he made all his money in the box. He probably stole the idea for the cardboard box from somebody else.
God, he's so
From
bad.
Johnny Cardboard. He just stole his idea.
Oh
Like I
no,
can't
not
stand
Johnny
Wes.
Cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just a series of, you're right, he is two-faced,
It's totally two-faced, man.
and this is why he
You know who
actually
he is?
can't hire Van Millner because his board has overrun him already. He doesn't even own that company anymore.
You know who he is? He's Hulk Hogan, dude. Wes is Hulk Hogan.
Star of the lowest rated episode in Love Boat history?
The very same. Um, ugh. We see Pepito is hiding behind a deck chair on the second deck of the outdoor area. And he overhears Larry tell Sybil that if they're lucky, he'll stay lost. And
Yeah.
when we go to break.
So everybody's looking for Pepito here as we go into break, right?
Just awful,
Theoretically.
awful
There
crew
is
and or
there
security.
is no one on the decks.
No,
So everyone's in casino night? Like everybody.
it's popular. Or
There's not
or it's
one
go to
person walking
sleep.
around.
You have two choices. Go to casino night or go to sleep in your room and don't walk around. It is
Or I
odd.
guess third is try to find Pepito, which is a
You're right.
lousy option.
That's dumb. It's the only way you can be out of your room or or not be at the casino. We go to break again, so we're back. A whole night goes by, no Pepito. Sybil's super worried, as is Larry, who says, "If anything happens to him, I'll never forgive myself." It wasn't his delivery of the line was not very believable.
The
Larry's
question
like,
is, if
"Let him
anything
jump off the boat." Hmm,
here's my question. If anything
yeah,
happens to him, will the police forgive him? What is I mean, did they sign papers?
I mean, the
Is he
last time
even
we
in their
saw him,
custody yet? They haven't
Larry
been.
was Larry was threatening to do him bodily harm the last time we saw him.
He's the first suspect.
Right?
What about the La Policia? Um, Also, actually, the guilty party here is the Padre.
Yes.
If anything happens to Pepito, the blood's on his hands.
No one's tracking Pepito. There's no paperwork. He's got one set of clothes. He's got nothing.
That's
And a
that's
roast
probably
beef
true. It
sandwich.
doesn't even have fingerprints.
No, no, he's got nothing.
Pepito.
Uh, uh, the crew is looking for Pepito. We see Pepito drink, dragging a raft over the railing, and I just think, oh boy, I just kind of wanted to see what was going to happen there. Like, yeah, go ahead, because then I'm like, wouldn't you get sucked under? Because then the ship, like, it would be,
Yeah.
go ahead,
So
just hop off.
here's my question. Now, Pepito's a pretty streetwise fellow. Now,
Not
granted,
boat wise though,
he's probably never been on a giant
right?
cruise liner before. But isn't the move, if you're Pepito, you've already made it through one night without anybody finding you?
Just hang out,
Isn't the move just to kind of stow away, hide in plain sight, hide around, whatever, and
get
then the next
food.
port, just get out of there?
Yeah,
Yeah. Or start a new life in LA. I think Pepito would do quite well on his own. Certainly,
I
he'll do
mean,
better than he is living with the Hartmans.
he makes me laugh every time he's got a little scene. I'm chuckling. I'm like, oh, Pepito, he'd be great.
You
Uh,
ragamuffin. You ragamuffin, Pepito.
they Larry and Sybil catch him just in time. and explain that they love him because they met him yesterday.
Well, on this boat, that actually tracks. So,
Yeah, it does track.
also, we'd like to marry you,
Yeah,
Pepito.
that's the. There's a little known maritime law. Pepito thinks the spanking threat said otherwise, but Larry
Fair.
says, "Hey, you can't steal without punishment." In other words, I will inflict physical pain on you. Fair
Listen,
enough.
Pepito, you can come home with us. We'll give you
Yeah,
food.
just
I'm gonna
know.
hit you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got 6 in the bank already, you little thief. Uh, Pepito reveals he's always had to steal in order to eat. Okay, he's not that thin either. Let me just say that he's not.
He's eating roast beef.
He's eating roast beef. You're not that hungry. Sybil assured him he'll have plenty to eat from here on out. And it just kind of Pepino finally gives in and hugs Larry.
Yeah,
Larry pushes him
little
away and
unearned.
slugs him and knocks the mustache
Yeah,
clean off of Pepito's face. No.
little unearned there,
Yeah,
guys.
it's a little forcing.
Yeah,
Uh, so, I mean, in essence, that storyline's pretty much wrapped up there, I would say. There's a little thing at the end, but that's sort of
yeah.
you end
That's
with a
the end.
hug.
Yeah,
Okay,
just yeah, great. I'm so glad they found
great.
Pepito.
Yeah, wonderful. Nobody was looking. I wasn't looking for him. Uh,
I stopped looking at this episode by now.
yeah, I'm done. I'm done. It's kind of
We
like when
should
you can coast in a bike when you don't have to pedal. You
Yeah,
just kind of
this was kinda audio only for a little bit for me to
audio
get
only,
yeah.
just like gliding. Turn the engine off. Uh, Karen decides she needs to choose between Doc and Captain.
Why?
Why? Just you're getting off the ship the next day. Julie forms a plan that she'll meet them both on the deck at 11 o'clock and make her choice. So dramatic.
Th
Just tell them now. I choose
this
none of
is
you.
this is the worst voiceovers. These are just like,
Oh, and the wind
oh
just
my
is
god.
so bad.
It sounded like it was a kung fu movie. There was so much,
It was
like, just
so they were like,
voiceover.
"What is? Who knew there'd be wind on a cruise ship?" Uh, yeah, they weren't playing ping pong in that scene. You know what would have happened? That would have been everywhere.
And
Uh,
Skeet
Ski can't ski. Uh, Minutes later, Doc tells Isaac that he's going to give up and let Stubing have Karen. And elsewhere, Captain Stubing is telling Gopher he is going to give up and let Doc have Cabin. Wah,
and that's what makes this a Christmas episode.
wah. And that's where Gift of the Magi came from. Uh, Van is alone in the moonlight when April comes up and apologizes. But again, she's apologizing what? Because he won, because he gave money to her hospital? Like, what changed in this
I
scenario?
think she's apologizing for assuming he was doing the stuff that Wes said he was. But
Yeah, but
when you
what?
give but when you give away
Oh,
$14,000, it's not about the money. That
yeah,
would
he
have to
probably
be a hell of a scam if he was gonna let that money go just to get all the money of the very successful Dunleavy Institute.
just shows. He showed his true colors. Wes would have taken every penny, every penny. He probably tried to too. Um,
Do you think Jerry Hamlin is, like, sitting in his office and he just gets this, like, chill down his spine
he's not
and something
happy.
bad's gonna happen?
Something bad is about to happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've got 8 months left on my contract. You can't do anything to me. I'm Jerry
Nothing.
Hamlin, the worst
Nothing.
hospital administrator ever, apparently.
He's just and the thing is with technology, he would have no wind of this. What are they gonna send a telegram that you're fired, decka, 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 end? Like, how are you gonna
Well,
I'll deal with
I assume that's Dabney Coleman's first job, right?
oh, fire
Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Bye, Jerry. Um,
Look at the box factory.
bring a box with you. Just show him what's up. Look, it's brown, 4 sides. You can put stuff in it. Van also apologizes.
$6,000,000.
And back then, that was like crazy money. I'm the sultan of the cardboard cube. I don't know. Uh, Van apologizes for not telling her she's broke. He's broke, but I'm like, what
He
business? Who
tried.
cares? Who cares? And insists that while he's good at his work and knows he can eventually get a job, there's only one April. They hug. They hug. They go for the smooch. They hug. And Van gets the job at April's hospital after
I
all.
think Van was holding back a little bit. He's like, "You don't get the sugar right away after
Yeah.
that charade that
Yeah,
you
settle down. You might be crazy.
yeah,
You've
you might
changed
get
your mind
fired.
twi Yeah.
I might fire you and Jerry Hamlin, or maybe
I'm
me and Jerry
changing
Hamlin are in on the scam."
I'm gonna call it the Jerry Hamlin Institute. That's what I'm gonna do.
I
Get
mean, it
out of here,
sounds as
April.
much of a hospital Hamlin
So
Hospital, there you go.
stupid. It's 11 p.m. Neither Doc nor Steubing show up. Karen doesn't have to make her choice. Wah, wah. Big finish, Mike.
Ugh.
Pepito, last
Pepito!
opportunity to drink, returns the quote unquote missing watch back to Larry, and they all have a big chuckle. I wouldn't have a big chuckle. I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, I almost forgot about that. Come
Oh,
here, Pepito.
oh, thanks for the watch. Guess what time it is? It's ass whooping time.
Yeah. I don't have numbers on there. It says it's beaten time. Little
Clobber time.
jerk. Exactly. Um, Wes tells Van that he might have a spot for him in his company. Go
Yeah.
F yourself, Wes.
Yeah. Go
You
shit in your
snake.
box.
Guy's just the epitome
He
of
really is
garbage.
he's a try-hard, he's a two-face.
Fake. Just a
He's
snake in the
clearly cucked
grass.
by his wife.
Ugh, not a fan.
Not a fan at all.
Wes
Very
says he already had.
You know
What's
what,
up?
Wes? Get that tuxedo ready. We might be seeing you at the Stubbies because we do have a category for people like you.
Uh, what's funny is speaking of the stubbies, I thought of a category the other day,
Oh, I thought of a
and that was
category the other day too. Go on.
what was yours?
My category was I think we should put in best storyline
Oh, I like that.
because as we've seen a lot this season, we have had good storylines, but not
I
good
like that.
episodes.
That's a good
So I think
idea.
that would be a good one. Yeah.
The what I came up with is best merch shop idea.
It's gonna be hard to beat that. What was that?
There's
The
so many.
hat, the businessman number one,
Oh, the businessman number one hat,
whatever that company was, the trucker hat.
or the night surgeon kit. That's you'll know that's that's another good one too. What does it come with? It comes with a phone with a bad connection. That's what it comes with.
And a little black book. So
Yeah, Adam and a permission slip or
or a
whatever.
consent form, right?
Yeah, consent form. Van tells Wes pretty much, I already have a job, and Wes and Renee congratulate both Van and April. Good
Yeah.
riddance. We see Karen exiting the boat as Steubing and Doc look on. They realize as such that their friendship means more than pursuing Karen. Quote, we didn't lose a girl, we kept a friendship. Wah, wah.
We get,
Ooh,
like, 3 scenes worth of this where
yeah.
Julie keeps asking Karen who she'd picked. Like, A, who cares?
Who cares? It's over.
Right, and nothing happens.
But
But,
why does she care that much?
the st the
Busybody.
stretching in this episode wasn't padding, it was literal
No,
stretching.
stretching. Like this scene, there was a zero, and she went, "Oh, I'm not going to tell you."
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. And that,
Ugh.
Karen wouldn't tell Julie. End of episode.
Ugh. Good
Whew.
lord. And even the ending was dumb, where it was like the 2 of them, like, just kinda saying,
Just,
au revoir and all this stuff. Like, what are we doing here?
it just felt like again, like you're saying, it just was stretched. It was stretched. When you cut through this episode the way we did, I mean, not to say we left anything out. We're already the episode already right now for us is much shorter than a normal
Yeah,
episode because there was
nothing
nothing
happened.
happening. These
No,
stories were the
no,
orphan when there's nothing there.
no.
It's just
Yeah,
oh,
and the thing that bothers me is well, you know what? No, I'm not gonna say that. I don't think
mm,
there was even hope for any of this. Like,
no,
sometimes we look
no.
at it and we're like, "Oh, you could have done this, or you could have done that."
Mm-mm. Yeah, I
No.
agree.
No,
Imagine if
the only good thing that came out of the 2 storylines was I have said it before, I do wish they had established this friendship of these 2
yeah, yeah.
a little earlier,
And we've
because I
talked
do
about
think
that.
it's mainly there,
Well, it's
you
like
know?
a Captain Kirk and Bones kind of thing.
Right, and so I think that's something and again, if you I would have been curious to see if this was, like, episode 9 that we ever watched or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
it
good
would have
point.
been bad, but it would have at least informed things moving
Yeah, that's
forward.
a good point. Yeah, it was just,
Um, but guess what? It wasn't.
no.
Uh, so totals in a recap. So when I watched it the first time, I didn't like it. I liked Dabney Coleman, obviously, but
Yeah.
then when Wes gets involved, that even started to take the shine off that.
It really
But
did.
I was trying to hold back my hatred for it because I was really mad about the timeline and how insulting it was.
Right.
But then when I watched it the second time, this is a bad episode.
Yeah.
To me, this is the worst episode we watched this season.
I
But
would,
I'm easy. I can be debated, but it really just depends on how much Dabney Coleman. And this is like a fundamental
well,
conversation, right? It's
he's
like
on a sinking ship though, man. You know,
right.
there's only so much he can do. I'm trying to think because there's one
So
I can't argue with it. I because
episode 8 is the current leader, and it was the Conrad Bain stuck in the hotel or in the room. Jimmy Walker's a ghost.
yeah, they survived on, 6 peanuts. They
Right.
made it through.
We didn't like that. It was not a good episode.
No,
It was boring.
right.
But
This is
this
different. This
had
isn't boring. It's just bad.
this had something that I don't even know if we've had, which
What's up?
is 2 I don't care storylines.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back and
yeah.
look. Like episode 23, that Annette Funicello was as bad as anything we've seen, right? The other stuff was not great, but this was just like,
I'd say what I would put this up against the worst of season 1
yeah,
easily, and I think it would be a battle. I think it
yeah,
would be a close. This is historically bad, this episode.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So
just
I just there's no, and the thing is too, it's bad on its own, and then you throw in the fact that it's so out of order
it's just
and all that stuff. Yeah, I think this
well,
is the worst
imagine
of the
it
season.
let's swap out Dabney Coleman and put Norman Fell. Oh,
Or
you wanna talk about a
or even worse, swap
mm,
out that storyline for a lesser storyline,
it's
of
just
which
the
there are
whole thing.
plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if this was like, oh, and the third storyline is like one of those Leslie Nielsen storylines or something like that, like, this
At least
was
it's something. There was not a the orphan. Yeah, it was bad. I would agree with you. This is the worst episode of the second season, and
yeah,
as I said before, I think it definitely in the running for worst episode we've seen so far.
yeah, yeah. I'll have to go
It's
back
at
and
least
look and
at worst top worst bottom three.
yeah, I'd have to
I'm
go
not.
back and look because I'm pretty sure episodes 21 and 23 last year, I don't
Bad.
think they had a ceiling, like, they didn't have a
No,
performance
they didn't
at the
have a
top.
Dabney Coleman. No.
Right, but it was the same idea, and so that
Mhm.
really just is the only thing. Can one person save it from being the worst thing we've ever seen? But not this season,
No, no.
you know?
Well,
Which
whatever this was, because I do
well, but
feel
it's gonna
like they
count, yeah, but it'll count in
imagine
our
if
season, but yeah.
imagine if this was like episode 20 or 19, like last
Ooh.
year and last season when you had that string.
I
That's
mean,
why
it
it
does
makes
make
me
sense though,
wonder.
right? It fits
Yeah,
right in
it
that
it
bad string of episodes.
because this
I don't
is
know I don't know what happened. It's funny, as much as we love, like, some of the outdoor stuff and everything, when you see it, man, it's like troubled times ahead.
it just stunk. It really stunk. And I'm watching this episode makes me glad we're in season 2, but it irritates me because I really was hoping we'd be past this, past the ticker tape, past the weird portal, past Julie's hair being short.
Well, at this point now, I almost feel like until we get caught up to the timeline, which I guess we will then dictate by Julie's hair and some of the sets, right?
Yeah.
Like, I almost don't know how to judge it because it's like we're just all over the place.
It's just
Like,
random. It's random placement. It just there's no like chronological. There's no this one is such a I don't know what to do with this one. Let's throw it here.
yeah, right. And
I
it's episode 12. There's
yeah.
25 this year, so we're basically halfway through. This is a much worse season than last year. and it just
Absolutely.
feels very fragmented because of the timelines and then these consistently one good, two bad storyline shows.
Maybe, then if you look at what it was going up against, like forget what the special was, right? They were going up against a TV movie and a Christmas special. With there only being 3 things to watch, it's almost like, here, we're gonna throw this against the
Yeah.
wall, and we're still gonna get 14 million
Yeah.
viewers.
No, obviously, right?
But I wish it was a little more of, "We've got something here, let's kinda build this story." We had the continuity people, that thing, there's no continuity in this episode
No,
with any other episode.
no. And
So,
like we have one more episode
mhm.
in December of 1978. Based on the synopsis, it is not a Christmas heavy episode. Whether we even get, somebody wearing a hat or a tree in the background, I
Wait,
don't know. But like that is the easiest thing to do in television back then.
didn't we
Is
have a
just have
Christmas
a
cruise
Christmas
last
episode.
year?
What?
Didn't we have a Christmas we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
We
That's what
did.
I'm saying.
Okay, and investing
There
Santa
should
Claus
be
that
one
6.
every
Yeah, every
year.
year, every year. We had
You could make
Thanksgiving.
this a damn Christmas episode. You don't have to have it like be completely Christmas,
Well, we had
but
Halloween. Remember we had Halloween this
we had
year?
Thanksgiving,
And
we
we
had
had
Valentine's
Thanksgiving.
Day.
So,
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
I
know.
don't feel great that we're gonna get any Christmas next week.
Maybe we'll get New Year's instead. Maybe it'll be a New Year's cruise. I mean, I could see that, but
Well,
I'd still, like you say, it's too easy.
we do get one thing next week that really does feel like a holiday, but I'll save that for the end.
All right.
Captain of the week
Ugh.
is a
I
one
mean,
is a one
come on.
answer answer.
It's
So
it's it's Dabney Coleman, Mr.
yeah,
Van Milner, and
yeah,
I say Dabney Coleman because he's the one that did the work.
yes.
I mean, he's the anti-Norman Fell is what I wrote
Yeah.
down.
The only person who even gets like a little hat tip is Rue McClanahan. She kept up as
Yeah,
much as she could.
I
Um,
agree.
and it's not her fault that the logic of the plot broke down in the middle.
Ugh, it's terrible.
But she was the other half of that kind of repartee. So
We'll
I
see
thought
her
she did
5
great.
more times. She's got 5 more swings at it.
I'm excited. Uh, and this could be anybody. Walk the plank.
I think
So
it's Pepito. Number 1, I'm tired of saying his name. I'm just tired
Pepito.
of him.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I went with the Padre because I do think
When it
he
gets type.
basically he basically ran a scam.
Oh, yeah.
He's now stuck this poor family with a kid they don't want. He lied. Who knows what's going to happen to Pepito now? So that's a
Probably
little
won
crazy.
some bet too. That father's like, "I bet you 100 pesos I can Pepito
Oh,
will
it's like
be out here with an American family by the end of the week," or something
a
ridiculous.
trading places thing or
Yeah.
whatever.
Billy Ray Petito. Or Billy Ray Pepito.
You could literally make an argument for anyone that was in this episode except for Dabney Coleman, Rue McClanahan, and Ruth Larson.
Yeah.
Everyone in the real cast and crew, everybody in the show, everyone is eligible to be the worst, and I think it's legitimate.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I agree. It's not a good look. It really isn't a good look for them.
Yeah, like I said, this episode made me angry for so many reasons, and then talking about it made me angry for so many reasons.
I
So
totally agree.
anyway, that's totals and a recap for this week.
Ooh. Let's check the old mailbag, Mike. Let me check the mailbag. Now there
Pepito.
is no mail. However,
Yeah, this
we
counts.
received a very nice review. I just kind of wanted to share this with you. I love your Love Boat podcast. Still catching up on all the episodes, but every episode so far has me laughing my head off.
That's
I
great.
was at
Even this
I
one? No,
was
we'll see what she thinks about this one.
I was in an antique shop and I bought a vintage Love Boat coffee mug. Keep up the wonderful work. Cheers, Helen. Thanks, Helen.
Thanks, Helen.
Plugs, Mike.
I would like to plug Jerry Hamlin's LinkedIn page.
He has a deli.
He's just working at
He's
Wawa
he's
now.
in Naples, Florida, working at a deli. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jerry Hamlin's LinkedIn page and also Absolutely Hammered on the Hitting Season Patreon for hopefully
Let's
a
go.
deep World Series run. And if not, we'll just start talking about Pepito.
That's it. Go Phils. You can find us everywhere and everywhere you find your audio podcasts: iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict. I love reading all these. Amazon Music, Podchaser, Deezer, and Player FM. Please hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. Also, check out our video podcast on YouTube. And if you could hit the subscribe button there, leave us a review. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. Look for weekly reels and updates. Next episode, Mike, did you do a little looking ahead? I did a little.
I did a little looking ahead. Now, the thing I was just teasing is actually not for next week, but it is
Really?
coming up. But I'll save that. But no, next week is the title Julie Falls.
Oof.
And we are going to get back into a Julie romance, and that is always a great place to be. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we can knock this one out of the worst episode pretty
Oh,
quickly. So.
please. Well, it might be tough because when I did look ahead, the word ventriloquist was a keyword.
No.
So we'll see.
Well, happy Pepito to you, Mike.
Happy Pepito to you, Mike. All right. Well, thanks for joining us this episode. Thank you, Mike. And we will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Pepito.